Reach. Let's head into round 4, and we've got Ben Farabee, who we saw on round 2, piloting Burn, and Tim Rivenberg, piloting Infect. Which, fun fact for anyone that doesn't know, Tim does not have Infect, but borrowed Nan's Infect deck. So we are seeing the culmination of Nan's deck in someone else's hands.
There you go.
Luke, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the stream. Legacy. That's what we need to be playing.
Legacy, yes. Just throw together a Legacy deck very quickly. Take your car, sell it.
Yo, Luke W1090 with the follow. Thank you so much, dude.
Super good to have you there, Luke.
All the way from the UK. Both players sitting at 6 points, and Straw Poll is going to be going up as we speak. Brett forgets Nan's name. That is his name.
See what happens? He's gone for 1 week.
1 week he's gone.
1 week. Where's he honeymooning at?
He is in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, he's taking in all the historical sites.
That's a great little spot if you like the history, for sure.
Yeah, he said he may go to the beach at once. I don't believe him. He's really pale.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Doesn't look like a beachgoer.
No.
They have some great ghost stories down there, so right now is probably the perfect time for you to go with this Halloween time. So.
Fun fact, we were in Gettysburg, right? And he wouldn't go on a ghost tour.
Oh, man.
I was like, dude, this is the perfect time. Let's go on a ghost tour. And he was like, nope, not having it.
Well, we are a very historical and haunted restaurant, so we get a lot of the ghost types that come in, and I tell you, just don't be like those people and enjoy yourselves on the haunted ghost tour, because those people get very, very serious.
Oh, yeah.
So, Magic Hype. That's right.
Little PogChamp action.
So,
Tim is going to 18 off a Gataxian Probe to start.
but the good news is we get to see what Ben's working with as well as Tim. And it looks like those Searing Blazes are coming back.
What's
at
up?
least one of them. With a Rift Bolt, Monastery Swiftspear, Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, and an Atarkus Command. And one Lonely Mountain. So, while it may seem like a little bit of a bold keep for Ben, it makes sense. He can cast everything but the Atarkus Command and the Searing Blaze in his hand. And, he gets one fetch land, he'll be sitting pretty there.
Straw poll is up, guys. Let us know. Is it going to be Infect? Is it going to be Burn? Personally, I would vote for Burn because it's Nan's Infect deck, and I know he runs a particular card that we were all chuckling about at the time. But he's going to play, it looks like a Pendlehaven?
Is it the signed foil Pithing Needle?
It is not the signed foil Pithing Needle.
I did ask Tim if that was for trade.
Ooh.
And unfortunately, Tim declined. So
Oh, man.
he's looking out for Nan, I guess.
Actually, I also, when I took his deck up there for him. He wanted to play some Magic before his wedding. And I said, dude, it's one card short. I actually sold that foil Pithing Needle.
Oh, man.
Worst card in the deck.
I thought you said the Sylvan Scrying is the worst card in the deck,
That's
right?
it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So Monastery Swiftspear, gonna get in there, taking Tim to 17. And he did find a fetch land.
Naturally. Like you do.
17 all. And here's a Wild Nicottle. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know if you know this, but the German Wild Nicottles are actually the best wildest Wild Nicottles because they're wildest Nicottle.
They're the wildest of
Wildest.
Nicottles.
Wilder Nicotta. So. I don't usually promote foreign cards, but that's a good one to go after.
When you're looking for the wildest of Nicottles,
Yes.
go with the German ones. Passes back. Tim really, really wanting to keep that Glistener Elf, unfortunately.
Yeah, and having the fact that he knows Ben's hand is probably not making him too excited right now.
No. What's up, Luke? How are things? Here's a forest.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to help Ben out by taking extra damage, that's for
No.
sure.
No. Lava Spike, Searing Blaze. Just, a couple cards.
No big deal.
Yeah. It's fine.
Just.
Oh, activating that Ink Moth Nexus. And Might of Old Krosa coming down.
5 Infect.
5 poison counters. Halfway there.
All it took was 2 cards.
See? Everything is fine.
Yes. 3, I guess, if you're looking at the land needed to activate the Ink Moth. But,
in fact, definitely the cheaters deck is all I'm saying. No one's going to remember that I actually play it. Nice. As soon as I open the window, a truck goes by. Sorry about that, guys. Ben in the tank thinking about things. He's going to swing for 3.
Ben has what I think most of us in the Magic community call the fear.
Oh, yeah.
He is a little afraid of what Tim might have over there in the way of some pumps, some protection. Really, no telling exactly. Tim being a little cavalier there, taking 2 life for his breeding pool. He's going to...
It's like he doesn't know that his opponent plays burn or something.
Make this creature land a creature.
So Ink Moth, it's going to get activated. It's getting frisky. Here's one. And let's just go ahead and pump him up with this Pendlehaven. And in response...
Yeah.
But mutagenic.
You can kind of tell that old Ben was a little desperate there. Mainly due to the fact that Searing and the Infect counter comes on right in time just for the game to be over.
Yep.
So, they can... Searing Blaze was, obviously a last-ditch effort there to deal 1. He's not going to get around any pump spell that Tim might have had.
But it's something where you have to answer, right?
For sure,
if you have it, you just have to at least try and make them have the answer. And Ben's going to take a look at his sideboard, and let's kind of take a peek and see what they got going on. We know about Ben's sideboard. We'll talk about that again. But Tim's sideboard. I say Nan because he's playing his deck. Is which one would you like to read?
I'll take Infect this time.
You want to take Infect? Go for it.
So Tim's got 1 foil signed Pithing Needle.
There it is.
1 Spellskite, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 1 Pulse of Marasa, 2 Kitchen Finks, 3 Nature's Claim, 2 Dispel, 1 Dried Arbor, and 1 Thing in the Ice. What do you think he's bringing in for the old burn matchup?
So let's see. We've got the Spellskite. That's an instant in. The Pulse of Marasa and the Kitchen Finks. This is all in terms of preserving life totals on Tim's side, and that's what the Pulse of Marasa is going to do. That's 3 cost. Gain 6 life, and then go get a creature and or land.
Right.
So that kind of, hey, if you target one of my creatures, no big deal. I can at least go get that back, and I gain 6 life. Kitchen Finks, obviously, gaining 2 life, as well as that persist. But other than that, I think he's probably pretty good.
Yeah, Dispel's probably a possibility, but in all honesty, if you're trying to counter their burn spells with Dispel, it's probably not really where you want to be as the Infect player. Maybe if they're pointing at your creature, but certainly if they're pointing at you, that's not not where you want to be.
And on Ben's side, 4 Path to Exile, 3 Destructive Revelry, 2 Grim Lavamancer, 2 Deflecting Palm, 1 Skullcrack, and 2 Ensnaring Bridge. So Ben's got a couple of extra cards, I think, on his side. Can we see a Deflecting Palm kill? That's exactly where I was going to go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like a one-off Deflecting Palm coming in, I'm definitely okay with.
Well, it's even more likely with Infect, too, since the Deflecting Palm will do Infect damage to the opponent, and you don't have to hit him with the 20.
Yeah, right? Go ham, dude. Please, play all those pump spells. Here's the Deflecting Palm.
You got me.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
With the 4 Path to Exile, I'm okay with any number of those, because, by the way, if you guys didn't know, that's the best card in Magic. Exile, target creature, period. But yeah, you can go get a land, too. But also the Grim Lavamancer, I don't know. I assume that if there's 2 in the sideboard, there's probably none in the main deck. So I'm okay with 1 just to be able to ping creatures.
Yeah, and I think that the Ensnaring Bridge probably seems enticing, but the thing to remember is all of his creatures are 1-power creatures, and almost all of his effects, they actually all are instant speed effects. Granted, the Might of Volcrosa, played as a sorcery, does a little more, but the important thing to remember is that they can swing for 1 and then add anything on. So the Ensnaring Bridge probably might make people think that it's a good inclusion, but it's probably not very good in this matchup.
We'll take a look at it while they're drawing up their 7 cards. Getting things cleaned up.
Does the palm not deal infect damage, is what Ben is saying. I don't know the exact wording on that card. I usually only play good cards, so I'm not familiar with deflecting palm,
wow.
but
wow.
We'll have to see. That's true. That's fair because it does prevent all of the damage. So my apologies, Ben, you're right. Palm deals the damage, and it's not infect.
But hey.
So you can't really have fun at all with that card, unless there's a giant Eldrazi coming at you or something.
What's 5 or 7 damage is nothing to sneeze at if you're a burn player, right?
Yeah, and that being said, he likely might not bring it in this match, although he could again because, like you said, for 2 mana, 5 damage, 6 damage is not a card that's been printed yet.
Yeah, I mean the thing is your infect player, and Nan will tell you if you're not starting your life total at 17 on turn 1, you're doing it wrong. So even seeing Gitaxian Probe, you're watching your infect player go to 15, 17 at least, or 15 if they're feeling frisky. So 7 damage, I'll take that.
That's true.
I had numerous Boros Charm kills this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, oh, you're at 4 damage? Boros Charm. All right, let's go to game 2. I tell you, I can't.
Listen, guys. When you do as much work as Brett does, occasionally you're going to trip up and make a couple mistakes.
Here's an Aaron Mesa. Eminem coming to my rescue.
The important part is that you knew what card he was referring to.
17.
You could have called it literally anything as long as you knew what it was. That's the important part.
And there's a Grim Lavamancer.
Ben bringing up a good point in chat. It's very good against Infect because it dodges all of their cards that give protection, like Apostle's Blessing or the Vines of the Vastwood Kicked, or just Vines of the Vastwood, period. It does let you prevent the damage without targeting so that it still effectively fogs and you don't have to target the creature. So they can't really counter it very well. So that is a good point as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Grim Lavamancer could be problematic for Tim. A repeatable shock wherever he wants to send it is good.
I'm not outing him, but he was the one that did the bingo board, guys. Okay? So he's still wrong in this instance. I was going to defend him, but now that we brought this up, here it comes. The bingo board, all Nan.
So we know the answer to the question. If Nan is not on the stream, can he still be wrong?
Can he still?
The answer is yes, unfortunately.
Goblin Guy
So
swings in, reveals a Noble Hierarch. 2 more damage. Here's a Stomping Ground. Nice.
called it.
And Grim Lavamancer taking care of that Glistener Elf.
Yeah, this is a problem that Tim's going to be faced with here, unless he gets an Ink Moth, maybe, which I don't know if that's what that is. But having to use his his pump spells defensively, again, is really not where you want to be as an Infect player. Especially against a card that's repeatable like Grim Lavamancer. It's really problematic for him. So he's going to have to do something about that Lava Mancer, which Infect isn't very good at dealing with.
No.
Or he's going to have to get multiple threats on the board to try to swing around that Lava Mancer.
Passes back after that noble play.
It was a very noble play.
Oh, I did it on accident. See at least one Rift Bolt in hand for Ben. Was that a Searing Blaze as well?
I did not catch it.
Okay, maybe it was that Bloodstained Mire. So he's gonna go to 13.
Finds basic mountain.
Tap 2.
It is a Searing Blaze.
Kerblam. 3 damage. Tim gonna go to 12. Dead Glistener Elf.
Another card that we haven't quite seen yet that could be very, very good in this matchup for Ben is the Eidolon of Great Revel. It pretty much means that whenever Tim casts a spell, he's going to take 2 damage. Not a single card in his deck is going to dodge that trigger. So
Reveals a mutagenic growth, takes 2 more damage, goes to 10. Ben doing an excellent job in kind of just maintaining the board state. Tim's going to play a Blighted Agent and pass back.
Yeah, and again, really, this Grim Lava Mancer is pretty awesome here. It lets him point his burn as normal, but then it also lets him keep taking care of the board state as well without having to waste burn spells on the creatures.
I was sitting there chit-chatting. He is not at 5 Infect, guys. He is at 0. My apologies.
Got Ben in the tank here a little bit. I guess he's maybe trying to figure out if he wants to take care of this Blighted Agent or how he wants to handle things. I mean, at this point, I think getting rid of the Blighted Agent is probably the correct decision, simply because you've already taken care of a Glistener Elf. It's really just, to me, worrisome that they have any Infect creatures at all.
Reveals a Vines of Vastwood, which kind of spells, alright, I need to go ahead and pump the team. So it looks like Goblin Guides 3, Grim Lava Mancers 2, Ben is, and Lava Spike. Cool, alright, so he had enough damage to push through to make this a 3-game series.
And probably a great play there by Ben, because he realized that even if he had blocked one of the creatures with the Blighted Agent, it was going to kill the Blighted Agent. It was going to send him back another turn. And, obviously if it didn't block, he just killed him. So it's probably a 1-1 either way there.
So for the first time of the evening, dude, we can go to all that hard work that you do and see what they actually brought in. We guessed, we talked about what they could bring in, but now we're going to take a look at what they actually brought in. It's because I had to find that bingo board.
Hairball echoing in chat that killing your opponent does, in fact, also get rid of the Blighted Agent. So there's that. I think it's actually the most effective way of killing the Blighted Agent, if I'm not mistaken.
So we'll go ahead and we'll start with Ben. In that second game, he does bring in the 2 Deflecting Palm as well as the 2 Grim Lava Mancer. And he's going to actually side out those 4 Boros Charm that he had in the main deck. And on Tim's side,
looks like he brought in to dispel the Pulse of Marasa, the Spellskite. But he took out the Gitaxian Probe, Twisted Image, and one Sylvan Scrying.
arguably the best card in the main deck.
Second best card in Modern, I think,
Yeah.
actually.
Second
best card in Modern. So,
and as we go to game 3, we'll go ahead and just Ben sides in two. He's going to bring in 2 Path to Exile for this game. And he's going to take out 2 of his Island of the Great Revel.
The 2 Eidolon, I'm going to have to disagree with. I understand the Path is probably superior, but I think there are probably better cards to take out. I would even prefer like the Atarkus Command. Even the Searing Blaze is pretty good. But if you're, like I said, I just think that Eidolon just really punishes him for playing anything at all. So, however many spells he has in his deck, you multiply that by 2, and that's the theoretical damage an Eidolon can do. So, he has nothing under 3 mana, or over 3 mana, excuse me.
Just trying to rile Tim up. Sylvan's Crime.
But, Burning Scone pointing out that Lightning Bolt's a pretty great removal. It's actually the most played card in Modern, so...
Still, I think it's been in the top in the existence, right?
I know you love Path to Exile, but you could make the argument for Lightning Bolt.
See, I've seen people talk about this, and I feel like they're incorrect. I guess you can deal 3 damage to your opponent, and that's the name of the game.
It's true.
But here's Noble Hierarch for Tim, off of Forest. Ben draws a Sacred Foundry. Epoa, Path is the most played card. Are there new statistics?
Yeah, there might be. Even at that point, it's pretty, the argument is always 1 and 1A. I don't think that anyone would, white decks play Path and red decks play Bolt. And it's pretty standard fare for both, so.
Oh. My. That is quite the jump. Burning Scone. When Path can target creatures and opponents, we'll talk.
The moment you can remove your opponent from the game,
that's
and it's not in silver bordered Magic, I think you're onto something there.
Ben with a Wild Nikado.
Yeah, and I think Goldfish actually pulls solely from online results, so that could also be skewed a little bit there. But even with a 4% margin there, it's it's close enough to where like we said, 1 and 1A. But it's once again, if you're playing a white deck and you're playing a red deck, then you're probably playing both of those cards.
So Ben doing well, plays a mountain, and then boom, that Searing Blaze coming down, 3 damage. But Tim gonna dispel that away. Tim gonna go to 17. Looks like a Nikado beat and then a fetch.
It also looks like I'm absolutely filling in for Nan with my savage incorrectness that Chad is pointing out. So
they're helping you out.
That's all right. I'll take it on the chin. I don't mind.
Here's another Noble. Oh no, the Noble was saved. I'm sorry. I was too busy giggling. Taps 2. And Spell Sky comes down.
Yeah, that's
Passes back. Rift Bolt the draw.
A little problematic here for Ben, but with the old Wildcat there, I think he can get through that if he really, really needs to.
Swiftspear, Goblin Guide. These are all creatures that I can attack with. Ooh, Inkmoth Nexus is the reveal. So we got 2, 3, 6 damage.
This is kind of what we were talking about round 2, I believe, where Ben's starting to go wide here a little bit and relying a little more on creatures and a little less on burn.
Mm-hmm. And a Suspended Rift Bolt.
Right in the combat zone.
Mm-hmm.
Where it belongs.
Yeah. We'll just set that right there.
It looked like he ended up tapping all of his lands there. So I think maybe in his mind he just didn't care because he knew he was going to be using them all on red spells anyway. Would be my guess. I don't think he's too worried about path here because he doesn't actually have any infectors in play. So that again, that might have been his thinking. Mana Tithe, though, absolutely much better bluff. I agree. That card is savage.
That was far from the worst mistake of this game. Oh no, Rift Bolt
pointed at something.
Yep. Oh no, you're right.
Pointed at.
Coming at whichever creature. I would presumably say.
Well, I mean, technically, there's 7 legal targets here.
Yeah.
So he's going to make it go to the Spellskite.
Sure. There's 3 damage on that Spellskite.
So what this will do too is it effectively makes
targeting Tim. There you go.
This effectively also means that if Spellskite opts to block this turn, or rather, if Tim opts to block with Spellskite, it will die to really anything on Ben's side of the board. So
and we've got a prowess trigger on that Monastery Swiftspear.
Windswept Heath to the Goblin Guide.
So here's Goblin Guide. So 2, 4, 7. And
yikes.
Oh, okay. That's a thing.
So the 3 is immediately going to be dealt to Tim, taking him down to 11.
Okay.
There's going to be a second prowess trigger, which will make the Swiftspear a 3/4. We got a 3/3 Kitty Cat. And then they're both going to get +1/+1. So that should make it 8 power coming through. So if I'm not mistaken, he should go down to 3. I've been wrong a lot tonight, though, so it is possible.
So he's at 14. He takes 3 from a Targus command. So
I did actually make them back up because there was a little...
Yep. And then he's going to take 4 and...
Yeah.
Yeah, so just take him to 3 because that'll be 8 damage.
In theory.
I'm going to click this button and we're going to just say that's where he is.
2.
2.
All right.
I'm
not really sure where the extra damage came from, but at the same time, like I said, I've been wrong tonight several times already. But...
Nope, it's 3.
Okay.
Yep. We were right. 3 + 4 + 3. 10.
I was going to say, the good news as well is that 3 damage is effectively the same as 2 against burn. Especially with this looming death right here.
Yeah, it's just kind of hanging out.
So, Tim really needs to win right here, unless he has one of those spells he sided in. But, the Pendlehaven, the Noble, plus, the cards in his hand, he definitely has a possible chance of winning here.
So, Inkmoth Nexus getting activated. Let's...
Mightable Crosa, main phase.
Yep, so Inkmoth is right now 5/5.
Yeah, and the other thing is that he must have another spell in his hand because the Pendlehaven opted not to pump the Inkmoth. And there's that Groundswell.
Oh, Groundswell.
So that's another 4 plus the 1 is Exaxes.
Yep, that's 10. That's... Oh.
Well.
Fair Magic was played by all. And in the 11th hour, Tim able to pull in that second game win. Taking that series 2-1.
So congratulations to Nan's deck.
That was the Sylvan Scrying. That's what it was.
It was.
It had to be that Sylvan Scrying.
Tim did confess to me that while he took the Sylvan Scrying out of his deck every single game, he never got a chance to cast it. So I did ask him, I said, how exactly do you know that it's that terrible if you never get to cast it and you're always taking it out? So
I've always seen... This is the reason why Nan has kept that Sylvan Scrying in, because... It always works for him because he's so lucky. It's just like, oh, I I need my Ink Moth Nexus now. And here we go. And it's because he plays a more methodical. His deck list it hasn't really evolved too much over time. Become Immense has come in because he played it before Become Immense was a thing for Infect.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool.
Okay.
And he was always very methodical with his play. So he's okay with getting you for 1. Here's 2. Here's 1. And then here's 6. He's not worried about I gotta have a turn 2 play.
Well, and on that note, Mike Flores, without belaboring the point, wrote an article way back in the day on the dojo called "Who's the Beatdown?" And if any of you guys haven't read it, I suggest reading it. Even though it's a 15-year-old article, it's still relevant to today. And what it is basically discussing the importance of knowing your role in the match to say, am I the control deck or I'm the beatdown? And if you don't correctly recognize, you're probably going to lose. Mm-hmm. So if Nan's more comfortable playing Infect as more of a control, keep my guys alive, ticky-tacky 1 and 1, mm-hmm. Then that's going to benefit him. But, some people are definitely more on the all-in, become immense, like you said, plans. Yeah. So it's important to know your role in the matchup, I think, so.
Mm. You said this was a 15-year-old article?
It might be 15 years old now. That would put it out, 2001? It might be older than that. Mm. It's a very, very old article. So.
All right, there you go.
Mike Flores, who's the beatdown?
Who's the beatdown? Nice, I like that. Yeah. So we've got 4 rounds in the books, and we've got some point totals to take a look at. Yep. So let's just go ahead and hop over. I think we're making great time, by the way.
We are. We missed a round, so.
We did miss a round. You are correct in that. So here are the current round 4 before things kicked off. So let's go ahead and go to round 5 and see what we got paired in. I just checked. It's from 99. Oh my. And
make sure you read that. It's a great article. I get nothing for plugging this article at all, but Mike Flores is a very old member of the community and very entertaining read. So
here we go. We've got Keenan, the only player sitting at 12 points.
There can only be one.
He is having a great night tonight. I think he was back on burn. He brought Infect to the Invitational and threw everyone off guard because they're like, oh, Keenan only has burn, so he's got to be playing that. But, switching it up for the Invitational, bringing Infect. But he's back on burn tonight, and it's doing him well. Jeremy, Josh Robinson, Chris Carrozza, and Tim all sitting at 9 points, which we just saw Tim win in that series against Ben. Dwayne, Lucas, Lyle, John, Ben, and Ryan sitting at 6 points. It looks like Ryan may be having a tougher night here at the end of the night.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on his skills counting to 10.
Ooh,
after,
okay. Yeah.
I'll tell him to wear some sandals next time, maybe to make it a little easier.
There
but he'll, it's like any new deck. It doesn't matter what deck you pick up.
True.
There's definitely a learning curve to everything. So.
And Julia, Michael, and TJ sitting at 3 points. So a tougher night for those individuals. Yeah. But we've got one more round for you guys, and we're going to just go ahead and hop in and take a look and see who we've got. And looks like I may have to make